Welcome to Cruise News Central with Joseph.
You don't see this every day. The CEOs of Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, and MSC joined forces and signed on to a strongly worded letter to the President of Mexico. But so far, that's not stopping the huge cruise ship tourism price increase Mexico announced last week. As we covered in the last episode of Cruise News Central, completely out of the blue, the Mexican Congress decided to add a $42 charge to every cruise ship passenger that ports anywhere in Mexico. This is a big problem, not just for the cruise industry, but for entire coastal communities in Mexico. These places literally have built their life around and rely on cruise ship tourism for their very livelihood. This story is sure to bring you new perspectives into the importance of cruise tourism. But first, we have a couple of guys going overboard on cruise ships across the world from each other. One of these guys is a wannabe daredevil, and the other is an unsolved mystery. Let's roll the story.
Cruise news. Two men have gone overboard on cruise ships across the world from each other. A 19-year-old man in Russia, seemingly for no apparent reason, just decided to get up on the railing and jump into the freezing Moskva River. The man survived and was hospitalized for hypothermia. He now faces charges of violating transportation safety regulations. Across the world in California, a 72-year-old man cruising solo had gone missing and is now presumed to have gone overboard on the Ruby Princess cruise ship sometime before it reached its destination in San Francisco on Monday.
Hey, I did want to add that the gentleman that was presumed to have gone overboard on the Ruby Princess near San Francisco is still a mystery. Authorities cannot find any trace of him on the ship or on the ship's cameras. It's like he just disappeared. Hey, we still need to talk about the cruise line CEOs trying to block the price increase to port in Mexico, but Carnival doesn't seem to have a problem with raising their own prices. Carnival Cruise Line sometimes is referred to as the party line. As you would expect, they have a very popular drinks program called the Cheers Package, which is a great deal if you want a booze cruise kind of experience. But this week, Carnival was a buzzkill with a completely unexpected price increase of 16% on the package. As expected, some Carnival cruisers are speaking out on social media. Let's roll the story.
Carnival Cruise Line just hiked up the price of their drinks package without any notice whatsoever. The very popular Cheers package on Carnival has just gone up $6. Complaints immediately started rolling in. Many Carnival cruisers seem more mad about how the cruise line announced the price increase than the actual increase itself. In the past, Carnival has announced price increases with a grace period, so if you had a cruise booked, you could go in and purchase the package before the increase took effect. One man wrote in that he's feeling deceived by the sudden price increase. Carnival brand ambassador John Heald responded by saying that he doesn't feel that any deception took place and that the complainant will have to decide if she feels that the drink package is still a good value. What do you think? Should Carnival have given more notice on the price increase?
In the cruise industry, Royal Caribbean has a stellar reputation for their cruise experience. They currently boast having the largest cruise ship in the world with the Icon of the Seas. Needless to say, as a company, they have a lot going for them. Royal Caribbean also has an impressive ability to get people to spend extra money on their cruise vacations. But as you will hear in this next story, they have banned yet another item that cruisers sometimes will use to, let's just say, make the most out of their Royal Caribbean Wi-Fi plan. You tell me, has Royal Caribbean gone too far with this one? Let's roll the story.
Royal Caribbean has added yet another banned item to the already very long list. This time they are targeting travel routers. These routers are a popular hack to make it so you can connect more than one device to your Royal Caribbean Wi-Fi plan at a time. It is reported that security is now actively confiscating these devices at embarkation. In an effort to stay ahead of possible new technologies that people could use to avoid purchasing Wi-Fi through Royal Caribbean, they have carefully worded the policy stating that satellite dishes, routers, and other networking equipment are banned from Royal Caribbean ships. Are cruise companies going too far with a banned items list?
Hey, as we all know, food plays a very important role in how enjoyable a cruise vacation can be. Carnival Cruise Line recently decided to bring back a recipe they had been offering back in 2023. But not everyone is excited about this interesting dish coming back to main dining. Let's roll the story.
Carnival Cruise Line is changing up the dinner menu by bringing back escargot to sailing 6 nights and longer. Yes, that's right, if you were craving some butter-soaked salty snails, you're in luck. The cruise line had taken the French delicacy off the menu for a while to make room for some new dishes by renowned chef Emeril Lagasse, but apparently someone with some influence over the Carnival menu was missing the salt-filled rubbery crunch you can only get from a finely cooked snail. The announcement brought several comments from escargot lovers thrilled with the decision, but there was over 16,000 comments from folks saying they are not interested in the experience. It could be argued that a cruise is a perfect place to try some new foods. If you don't care for it, you can simply order another entree at no additional cost. What do you think? Do you like to try new foods when you cruise?
There is something very important I need to tell you guys. I just can't come up with the right words. Well, here, let's just do it this way. Here is the big problem with cruising. You travel to the port, you go through the stress of embarkation, you spend a few days in luxury, and then, before you know it, you have to get back off the ship and go back to the grind. Virgin Voyages feels your pain and has come up with something called the annual pass. This might just be the solution you've been looking for. Let's roll the story.
Live on a luxurious cruise ship for an entire year in a balcony suite with free Wi-Fi and laundry service for $120,000 a year. That is the newest offer from Virgin Voyages. The so-called annual pass could be an attractive offer to digital nomads and retired couples looking to spice things up and travel the world in luxury for a year. With cruising becoming more and more popular, it seems more and more cruise lines are offering long-term cruise options. Would you want to cruise for an entire year?
All right, the time has finally come to get into the very strongly worded letter sent to the Mexican president that was signed by the top cruise company CEOs. Of course, the letter is written in a professional manner, but it is very direct in its language. For example, it states that cruise tourism contributes approximately $1 billion in direct spending to Mexico's economy, supporting more than 20,000 jobs and more than $200 million in wages annually. Well, let's just roll the story.
After the unexpected bombshell move to add a $42 tax to all cruise passengers in Mexico, the CEOs from the top 5 cruise companies have banded together and signed a letter to the president of Mexico. The letter pointed out that the tax would make cruise tourism in Mexico 213% more expensive than the average Caribbean port, effectively pricing Mexico out of the cruise market. The letter also expressed how detrimental this new tax would be to Quintana Roo, the Mexican state that is home to Cozumel and Costa Maya ports. Cruise tourism represents 40% of GDP in Quintana Roo. The letter's author, Michelle Page, expressed disappointment over the lack of consultation and communication with cruise lines, saying there's been a long-standing mutually beneficial relationship between Mexico and the cruise industry.
Hey, that's it for Cruise News Central on December 8th in the year of our Lord 2024. If you like this video, check out this other Cruise News episode. I hope to see all you guys back for our next episode next week. Always remember, no matter what destination you choose, no matter what cruise line you choose, adventure awaits.